Did you know that most practitioners lack confidence in treating children simply because they overcomplicate their practice? The key is simply to sticking to 4 main pillars for a strong pediatric Shonishin practice. That's right, there are only 4, but it's crucial that you know them all. I'm Maya Suzuki from ShinKyu University, and today I'd like to guide you through each one of these pillars. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to grow your Shonishin practice without losing your confidence, and by the end of the video, you're going to have some practical tips and insights to really elevate your Shonishin practice here and now. Plus, I'm going to hint at how consistent mentorship in ShinKyu University can take your skills even farther. Don't miss out on this opportunity to transform your skills and elevate your practice to the next level. There are so many children out there waiting for you. I'm so excited for you to get started. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos all about traditional Japanese medicine. These 4 pillars I mentioned aren't just theory. I use them to help my students turn their practices into thriving pediatric acupuncture centers. Take Jimmy, for example. He always wanted to start a pediatric practice with his partner to help his community, but he felt unconfident and scared because he ignored these pillars. And once he started following these simple steps, his practice has begun to thrive. Just the other day, he texted me share his success, saying that he had 7 pediatric clients booked back to back. This is just one example, and I'm super excited for Jimmy, and I'm also super excited for you and your clinic to achieve similar success. To really build a strong Shonishin practice, you're of course going to have to start with the basics. To begin your practice, we of course need to define what Shonishin is. Shonishin is a unique approach to pediatric care in traditional Japanese medicine, and it uses non-invasive techniques like tapping and stroking and rubbing the skin with specialized tools, often called teishing tools. Shonishin literally means pediatric acupuncture, and this is a gentle method and is particularly effective for children as it avoids the needles and of course minimizes discomfort associated with them. Of course, that's going to make it more enjoyable for them because they're able to move during the treatment. To build a strong foundation in Shonishin, it is really essential to have continuous education and practice, of course, to master the techniques. I recommend checking out courses, workshops, books that focus specifically on Shonishin. And these resources can provide a deeper insight and practical skills to enhance your practice. Saying that, there are very few places to learn Shonishin outside of Japan, of course, but ShinKyu University is definitely one of them. And within ShinKyu University, you're going to get lifetime mentorship in Shonishin. So that's going to allow you to specialize in traditional Japanese medicine techniques that are the precursors of Shonishin and also help you to take your Shonishin to the next level. I like to talk about Shonishin being the end and goal of your practice rather than the beginning. Mentorship is really important because it's going to give you personalized guidance and feedback, and that's really crucial for refining your techniques. For example, my own practice is continually significantly improved through my mentorship with Yasuda Sensei, my teacher, because he's consistently able to correct my technique, how I'm applying it, and also how I'm interacting with the client. Building confidence in Shonishin requires regular practice and patience. So start with simpler cases and gradually take on more complex ones as your skills improve. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, and that all good learning begins and ends in the same place, the foundation. This is true for the Shenghan Lun, and it's true for your practice. I also recommend seeking feedback from really experienced practitioners in Shonishin. So set up regular review sessions with a mentor and peer group to discuss your progress and identify areas for improvement. Constructive feedback is a powerful tool for growth. Be careful of getting feedback from those who have not done the same course of study as you, as it can be really confusing and really lead you down a rabbit hole of research you don't have time or energy to do. Now, if you can, also observe experienced Shonishin practitioners so it can accelerate your learning. The Japanese often talk about stealing with your eyes as a valuable way of learning a craft. And I really think it's important because when you watch and absorb the techniques that are used and the approach that are used by seasoned practitioners with certain cases, it can really give you hints when those similar cases come into your clinic. Something that is often overlooked and really should go without saying though is that kids don't like sterile environments. A welcoming and comfortable clinic environment is essential to treating children. Decorate with bright colors, include toys, create a soothing atmosphere, whatever you can do to make the children really feel at ease. And this can significantly enhance the treatment experience and help scare kids relax quicker. Building trust and rapport with young patients is crucial. Use gentle communication, playful interactions, and create a positive experience to make children look forward to their next visit. A happy child is more likely to benefit from the treatment because they're not in fight and flight. There is actually a lot more to this statement, but for the sake of keeping it simple on this tutorial, just remember that children are prey animals. They literally can't defend themselves from predators. So keep your body movements and eye contact calm and relaxed. Saying that, slow is just creepy, so find a good middle ground there. Now, involving parents in the treatment process by educating them about the benefits of Shonishin and what's going on with their kids and how they can support their child's treatment at home is really effective. And it's going to give and foster trust between the parents and you, and it's also going to enhance the communication and the effectiveness overall of the treatment. For example, you can have them touch the skin before and after treatment and encourage them to monitor and track their kids' progress. Try to point out how the skin is different before and after and all of those things. Now, this is so important because so many people in our field, I feel, do not have business degrees and do not want to focus on the business aspect of acupuncture, but we all got to make some money. Otherwise, we definitely cannot continue doing what we love. Educating the community about Shonishin is vital. Host workshops, write articles, give talks to local parenting groups. This not only raises awareness, but also positions you really as an expert in your field. And I personally feel that networking is key to any successful practice, so talk to as many like-minded businesses and clinicians as you can. Even other acupuncturists can be a referral source, as most practitioners don't have the confidence to treat kids. When you do approach other practitioners, always approach them from the position of, I want to help your clients get better faster. I think my treatment could be a nice complement to your main treatments. I always try to boost the ego of the practitioner that I am talking to. Everyone always feels better with compliments. While a strong online presence is essential in today's digital age, word of mouth referrals are perhaps more powerful in growing your Shonishin practice. Really encourage satisfied parents to share their positive experiences with others, put reviews online. Happy clients really are your best advocates. Maintaining confidence requires self-care and balance. Okay, so I want really to stress this point. Manage stress and prevent burnout by incorporating self-care practices into your routine. A healthy work-life balance is crucial for long-term success, and that means you should take a vacation at least once a year. I learned this one the hard way, believe me. So don't repeat my mistakes and take a break to refresh yourself. I promise you that your practice will be stronger when you come back. Also, join professional networks or support groups where you can talk about your experiences, challenges, and successes. I find this really difficult, especially here in the United States, where acupuncturists tend to be a little bit less supportive as a community. But if you can find like-minded professionals, at least, that you can network with and talk about the trials and tribulations of work, it can really help to relax your mind. Peer support really does give encouragement. It flares new ideas, it helps you stay motivated and gives you confidence. And it's important to do this with people you have a similar background with, if you can. At ShinKyu, we do provide this in our private Facebook community, and it's incredible to see how much my students learn really from each other and how they boost each other's confidence. Really important is that you need to be celebrating your successes, no matter how small. Recognizing and acknowledging your practice boosts your confidence and motivation. Every step forward is a step towards mastery. I did tell you that I was going to give you some tips to help elevate your practice, and I think I gave you a lot of business tips and emotional tips. I'd also like to give you a few tips on how to handle your tools a little bit better and how to get a little bit better results. So let's go into that. I'd like to show you some very specific things that you can do with your tools when you're practicing Shonishin to really elevate your practice. To do that, I'm going to use my model here, Miss Liliko. Miss Liliko is going to lend us her upper neck and her shoulders. We're just going to have her turn around and move her hair to the side. As I explain this, I want you to realize that palpation weight is always going to differ according to the age of the child and also the thickness of their skin. So just keep that in mind as you're practicing these tips. The very first thing that we're going to be really careful about, again, palpation is something I talk about a lot on this channel, and the weight of your palpation and how important the weight of your palpation is. But we always just want to make sure that whenever we're palpating, we're only just using the weight of our hand. For example, right here, even though Liliko is 10, she is a little 10. And then even though this is the area of her skin, obviously the Taeyong is going to receive more sun, the skin will be thicker. We're always going to make sure that we have a very lightweight palpation. Now, saying that, sweetie, can you turn around for a sec?
Yeah.
If I was going to palpate Miss Liliko's face, let's say there was something wrong with the face, like, I don't know, trigeminal neuralgia pain or something like that, I'm going to be using an even lighter weight because the skin on the face is actually thinner, and so it's going to require a lighter hand, so very lightweight. And we're never going to palpate, turn around one more time, we're never going to palpate in a way that depresses the skin, meaning that we're never pulling on the skin. We're not doing tuinam when we're palpating. This is a diagnostic technique, so we always just have to make sure that our diagnostics are always going to be as little influencing to the body as possible. Really lightweight. Now, the second thing that I'd like to give you as a tip to utilize your Shonishin tool, so I'm going to be using my teishin here, is that the landing weight of the teishin is also quite important, and the weight in which you stroke the skin, as similar to the weight of your hand, is very, very important as well. Now, teishin, Shonishin tools, there's a variety of tools with different names, but just for ease, we're going to call them teishin tools. They are not gua sha tools, so please don't use them as a gua sha. They should never, especially on a child, never be causing a lot of redness or really digging into the muscle. We're really trying to just influence the skin. So we just want to make sure that it's just a really light weight and a really light touch. So again, a really light weight to the tool, and we never want to be pushing and pressing into the tool, because Liliko, tell me how this feels when I do it normally.
It feels good.
Okay, now I'm going to do it a little bit heavier. You tell me how it feels, okay?
It kind of hurts.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're going to be really gentle always with our kiddo's skin and make sure that we're only going to the weight that their skin really is telling us we need to be. All right, thank you so much, honey. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mentioned here that you only want to use your hand in accordance to how the skin presents. I can't go into all of the different variations that you would have in a newborn to a 10-year-old to a 14-year-old and the weight of your hand. That's really something that we would be going over more in my mentorship platform. But for ease in this video, just really try to make sure that you are not depressing the skin, you're not pulling on the skin, and then again, you also aren't feeling creepy on the skin, so you don't ever want to be so soft that you feel ticklish to the child. So if the child is constantly like wiggling away from you, that's a sign that you're being ticklish and that you need to have a slightly heavier hand. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, please do leave them in the comments below. Mastering Shonishin is a journey, and having a mentor can make all the difference. So if you're serious about taking your skills to the next level, I invite you to sign up for an interview to join my mentorship program at ShinKyu University. You can find the link for that in the description box below. Go ahead and click it and schedule your interview now. And I really do look forward to helping you achieve greater accuracy and confidence in your practice. Until next time, happy diagnosing.